Here's another episode of Telephone Etiquette, and today we're going to talk about the voicemail. Hi, today we're going to talk about voicemail as part of your telephone etiquette, because this can make or break whether a new patient becomes your patient or not. There's a shopper, they phoned in, they hit the voicemail, they can make a decision right there that this is the right place or it's not. So what can we do about that? I've got some notes to make sure I covered all the points that I want to cover. The first thing is I'm going to say how it was in the dark ages. When I was young, there was no voicemail, there was no answering machine. You answered the phone, and the staff always managed to do it and sound very pleasant in most cases. I mean, you always get a staff member who doesn't sound good on the phone if they're not trained. So yeah, you had to answer the phone, you had to do a good job of it, and so on. We're not in the dark ages anymore, fortunately. It is easier for the staff now, but sometimes they misuse this thing called the voicemail. For a long time, it was called an answering machine because it was a hard body thing. You left a message, and they did a good one or they did a bad one, but there was one when a patient phoned in, they would hit the voicemail or the answering machine. And that's still to this day the situation, but it's very easy to make a voicemail nowadays and to make sure that the message is really, really spot on. I run into bad ones all the time when I'm phoning offices, as I do on and off all day, every day, and trying to reach, somebody I'm supposed to talk to and that sort of thing. And people answer that have left us a voicemail. Far too often it's going to voicemail. Let me say that really bugs me. When I phone back like 3 times to reach the person who told me to call them at a certain time, and I keep hitting the voicemail, I'm going, where are the staff? Like, there were days when there was no voicemails and you had to answer the phone. So what are they doing instead of answering the phone? What if I was a new patient, a potential new patient, and I hit the voicemail and I just go, you know what? I'm just going to dial the next number. I'm not going to leave a message if they can't even answer their phone. That kind of thing. So you want to make sure that wherever possible, staff answer the phone. I don't care if they have to run. Don't sound like they were running and huffing and puffing, but sound like hi, as if they didn't just run the 3-mile sprint, okay? But they should answer the phone because these are human beings phoning in. And I think this is a good spot for me to say, do not have AI do a phone message for you. Oh my God, I run into those, I just hang up. Everybody can tell the difference now that you're not caring enough to have a real person answering. A real person answering has thoughtfulness, has empathy, has the right answers. When you phone government now, you have to go through so many AI answering machines until you go, I want a representative, I want a representative, I want a representative. That's what I end up doing. I want a human. And finally they go, I'll get an agent for you. Please hold. And I go, oh my God, do not make your office sound like that. We all hate it so much. Don't let your office fall into that. You have staff. They are there to greet patients who are humans and make them feel very comfortable in your practice. Okay, so sometimes they run into really bad voicemails. They sound very scratchy. They're poor quality. That's one thing. Another thing is the staff's voice is very scratchy and rude sounding. One was so bad, I phoned an office and I hit the voicemail first, and then by the end of the voicemail, before I left the message, as I was sitting there debating on whether I was going to even leave a message because the message was so poor, and then a human being answered, and she had exactly the same voice, and she was just as down as the person on the voicemail. It was horrible. Like, okay, you've called so-and-so's office, and you can leave a message. We'll get it sometime soon. It was terrible, and she was terrible when she answered it. And when I finally got through to the doctor, I said, what was that? They said, oh, everybody was out to lunch and she was the nearest one by. I go, don't let her answer again, or do some training with her. Almost anybody can sound upbeat as a fake, at least, even if they aren't that way themselves. So that's another very good point. Don't make your voicemail really long. Oh my God, I ran into the worst one ever. I phoned the university hospital unit, left a message for me to call them back. Turns out it's a wrong number probably that they reached me, but I had to listen. I tried to dial the number back, and I listened for a full 5 minutes to all the things that I had to be aware of when I was leaving the message and going into the hospital and honestly, it was like 5 minutes. I thought, what if I know exactly who I need to talk to? I wait through all of that message first. Oh my gosh. So it should be very short and to the point, but extremely pleasant. Like, hi, you've reached Copperhead Dental. How can I help you? That's for a human being answering. If it's the voicemail, is we'd love to help you right at the moment. Nobody's available, but we will call you back very shortly. Leave your best number. You know, that kind. Now, if it's overnight, like they're calling you after hours, you need to have a different voicemail. Have one, hi, you've reached us in our after hours when we play. And so you can't get a hold of us right at the moment. If it's an emergency, call 911 or whatever number you want to have them call for an emergency service. If it's not an emergency, just leave the message. Honestly, we will call you back tomorrow, we promise. Leave your best number and what time is best to reach you, and we'll do our best to call you at that time. We look forward to talking to you. That's for somebody you don't even know, and it doesn't matter whether it's your existing patient or somebody brand new. So make sure you have a day one and an evening one, and weekend, obviously. And here's the last tip. As the owner of the practice, listen to the voicemails at least every other week in case they change. Honestly, some of my clients have been so shocked when we told them what we heard on the voicemail and how it sounded. Listen to it, how you would be if you were a potential new patient shopping. Would you want to go to that practice? Is it upbeat? Was it fun? Did it make them feel like, hey, this would be a place where I'd like to go? All right. So listen to them and correct your staff and re-record them until it sounds the way you need it to sound for your business to grow, because it is a portal to your office. You spend money on driving business to that phone number, and then it gets blown away because the phone message was so bad. Okay. And so there you go. That's all I have to say about phone voicemails. And have fun with it and stay tuned. I'm going to be doing a lot more. This followed my telephone etiquette or phone etiquette 101. So I'm going to be doing a whole bunch more 101s on different topics. So stay tuned and enjoy.